morning. My name is Kathy Karkula and I am the director of the Northland 300. I'd like to welcome you to our very first driver support meeting that we are videoing for you to help educate you and let you know what your responsibilities are and what to expect on the Northland 300. The Northland 300 was started in 1988 by a group of snowmobile enthusiasts who had participated in every charity ride that was available. The decision was to take the very best of every ride and put it into one of our own. The next step was to interview charities that we would like to be involved with. The end result was Special Olympics Minnesota. We would call it the Northland 300 because we would ride 300 miles and each person would be required to raise $300. That was 30 years ago and thus began the Northland 300. Let me tell you a little bit about Special Olympics. Special Olympics provides year-round sports training and competition to persons who have intellectual disabilities. They provide wellness, public speaking, leadership training, and so much more that prepares them to become a viable part of their communities and then enrich their personal lives. Our program now begins with young athletes for ages 2 to 7 and then graduate into Special Olympics. There is no end age restriction for our athletes, and to date, our oldest athlete is 89 years old. Special Olympics also offers a unified program in many of its sports, whereby our athletes and persons with no disabilities play a part on their teams. This is now recognized internationally. Our athletes have the opportunity to go to national and world games. And through all the areas in Special Olympics that I have told you about, there is no charge to our athletes. Now let me tell you a little bit about the Northland 300. The Northland 300 is run by an all-volunteer board of directors who meet year-round and make the decisions for this event. Each person on this board looks to make this an event that both the participants and Special Olympics will be proud of. The Northland 300 raises 100% of its funds to benefit the athletes of Special Olympics Minnesota. Throughout the year, there are a number of events that are put on by our participants under the name of the Northland 300 to help them increase their fundraising efforts. Among these are the Chili Cook-Off, the Blainbrook Golf Tournament, the Northland Road Rally, and the Northland Beanbag Tournament. We also have a presence at the Heyday Races and the world's largest truck convoy. The Northland 300 gears its standards by those of Special Olympics and of responsible and organized snowmobiling. Throughout the years, the Northland 300 and its participants have been recognized with their highest awards by Special Olympics Minnesota, Minnesota United Snowmobilers Association, and the International Snowmobile Foundation. We are proud to say that 8 years ago we had our first athlete of Special Olympics join us by riding the entire ride with his coach. And 3 years ago we added another athlete to the ride, this time on our support team. All the athletes throughout the state of Minnesota will benefit by even what these athletes raise for their funds on the ride. When you go on the Northland 300, you can expect to receive 4 nights of lodging, a commemorative piece of Northland 300 clothing, a trail hanky designating the color team you participate with, 3 days of organized snowmobile riding, activities off-trail, a banquet, acknowledgement for your participation, and an opportunity to win prizes and time spent with good people who are also volunteering in the name of Special Olympics Minnesota. A brief outline of the agenda of events is as follows. Wednesday, sign in at the registration table and attend the last-ditch meeting at 8 o'clock that evening, which will tune you in on all of the last-minute details. Thursday, everyone has a role in the 9 o'clock a.m. opening ceremony, followed by teams being flagged out in the pole positions for the day of organized riding. Because 2018 marks our 30th anniversary, we will also be having an evening ceremony at 7 o'clock p.m. right on Lake Shagawa called the Celebration Under the Stars. Friday is a free day of riding, and there will be no organized support available this day. A vintage ride is in progress of being planned for this day. Enjoy the activities of the day that will be available for you to choose from. Saturday, this is the last day of the organized riding and teams will begin being flagged out at 8 a.m. 6 o'clock p.m. is social time with a showing of a video of this year's ride beginning at 6:30. There will be a theme party at the banquet this year, with the theme being a luau. Come dressed in anything from a Hawaiian shirt to a fully decked out grass skirt. 7 o'clock p.m. the buffet dinner begins. 8 o'clock, award ceremony begins, and all participants will be acknowledged. During this time, there will be a showing of a video that incorporates the 30-year history of our event. The party lasts till midnight with drawings for participants. Be sure to stick around for the fun and the friendship. At 10 p.m., we will be doing the drawing for our raffle ticket winners. I hope this will help you visualize some of the responsibilities, expectations, and fun that the Northland 300 has planned for you. Although this is just a capsulized version, we are always available to answer questions by calling 612-840-9660 or email me at karkulak300@outlook.com, or visit our website at www.northland300.org. To go on the Northland 300, there is a financial responsibility. And to tell you about this is Janelle Vorel, the Northland 300's Financial Director.
Hello, I am Janelle Vorel, your Financial Director for the Northland 300. We are going to go through your financial requirements for you to attend the 30th Annual Northland 300. You must be registered for this year's ride. If you haven't done so, please take a brochure and fill it out completely. I need your name, address, phone number, email address if you have one, team color, shirt size, and people you'd like to room with. You must also write a check for $35 written to SOMN to be registered for this year's ride. Once you do that, you must raise a minimum of $700. This must be turned in no later than January 24th, which is the night right before our ride at Grand Ely Lodge. Whatever you feel comfortable doing is your choice to raise your money, but there are some tools on our website available to help you raise your money. Let's go through them. Mile Marker is one of the newest tools that we have out there. It's a $100 donation, and we recognize our mile markers all year long on our website. Raffle tickets will be mailed to you once you are registered. You get 7 books of tickets, and each book has 20 tickets in them. They are $5 a piece, and each book is worth $100. So if you're turning in raffle tickets, money must be turned in for the amount of the raffle tickets you turn in. I will always accept more money than tickets, but never the other way around. Raffle ticket posters are also available if you'd like to use them. These will help your businesses help you sell raffle tickets. There are also several other forms on our website that you could use to raise your money. Bill me's are on our website and will not be accepted until you raise at least $700. There is a minimum of $25 for each bill me. A bill me is basically me invoicing the person sponsoring you. You must include all their information, their phone number, their name, address, amount of donation, and any other pertinent information for me to invoice them. Credit card forms are also available. Basically, I'm looking for the same information as a bill me: name, address, phone number of the donor, as well as the credit card information, the credit card number, expiration date, the 3-digit code, and the amount of the donation. All credit cards must be turned in 7 days prior to taking the donation. There is a fax number on that form in which to fax it into. Both bill me's and credit card cannot be used for raffle ticket sales. It is illegal for us to take them, and I will make you cover it if you try and turn them in. 501c3 forms are also available, and some businesses require it and request it, so please use them, and they are available on our website. There is also a Northland 300 Special Olympics Minnesota fact sheet, in which shows you facts on everything about both of those. Special Olympics Minnesota Disability Language Guidelines are also available for you to help talk about what we raise money for. So now that you've raised your money, what do? Wednesday night of our ride at Grand Ely Lodge, you will check into the Northland 300 registration desk. This is very important. Here's where you will receive your official Northland 300 30th year piece of clothing, your trail hanky, and you will turn in your money. You will need to turn in at least $700 at the registration desk. So we are going to walk in how you turn in your envelope. First, I'd like you to take all the checks that you have in your envelope and make sure that it is made out to SOMN. In the lower left-hand corner, the memo line, please write your name. Now, if you are turning in raffle tickets in the envelope, make sure you have enough money to cover raffle tickets that you are turning in. If you have bill me's or credit cards, I am asking that you make sure all information that I previously said is filled out completely and legibly. Then, in the front of your envelope, please write on your envelope your name, seal your envelope, and turn it in at Grand Ely Lodge, Northland 300's registration desk. Once all that's turned in, you will receive your trail hangy. You must sign both sides of the rules of the ride, and you will get any important information about the ride that day. The Northland 300 registration desk will be open from 4 p.m. to 10:30, 11 o'clock that day. If you have any questions about anything I've gone over, please email me at janel, V as in Victor, OREL @hotmail.com. But please don't stop at $700. Anyone that continues to turn in donations above $700 can do so before our banquet. This will be counted towards our Baker's Dozen. The top 13 fundraisers are considered part of our prestigious Baker's Dozen. Last year, our prestigious Baker's Dozen raised a total of $60,210, which was 58% of all funds raised for last year's ride. Pretty impressive for those 13 people. I will now turn it back over to Kathy Karkula, who will introduce our Trail Master.
Thanks, Janelle. There are also responsibilities for representing the Northland 300 on the trails. Here to tell you about that is our Trail Master, Mike Richards.
I'm Mike Richards. I'm the Trail Master with Northland 300. I'd like to go through some of the details of the ride this year for our 30th ride. First of all, expectations of each rider. We're riding as teams in our ride. We have anywhere from 3 teams to 8 teams or whatever we end up with. There's no set number as riders on a team. We usually have 8 to 10 as our average, and each person is in charge of themselves and the person behind them that they need to watch for, and we leave separately. Individual times leave 20 to 30 minutes between the rides and the teams, and we go out, and this is after opening ceremony on Thursday morning. About 9:30 is when the first team goes out. We're headed for different destinations on the trail. We stop at least 2 to 3 times each day on the trail to just make sure everybody is okay and make sure everything is going right. And then we usually have a little break at our first stop, and we have a lunch stop that we have, and we have another stop in the afternoon to take a little break at. And that's about the way the ride goes. I don't know which way we're going this year for sure, but we have 2 different destinations. We go one way east one day and west the next day, and then we have our free day, as Kathy mentioned. The free day, there's no obligation to go out and ride. You can do whatever you'd like to do, but a lot of people like to ride. We're also having a vintage ride this year. We're working on having that done on our free day. All teams are involved in opening ceremony on Thursday morning, and we line up towards how we want to come into Grand Ely Lodge. We'll be coming in down a road and coming up in front of the Grand Ely Lodge, and that's where our opening ceremony begins. And all the teams and participants are involved in that opening ceremony. So that's kind of how the ride goes. Kathy brought up a little bit about our last ditch meeting. That's Wednesday evening. Everybody's invited to that meeting. That meeting is very important for everybody to be to, support teams as well as team members. We're going to talk about the weather, we're going to talk about the trails, we're going to talk about how everything is going to play out during the ride that night. Very important everybody be there for that last ditch meeting. We're going to go through some of our rules and regulations for the ride that I would like to read to you. And everybody has to remember, this is not a race, this is a ride. So the Northland 300 is a team event. Be sure the entire team is safely intact at all times. Each snowmobiler is responsible for 2 people, him, herself, and the person behind him or her. Make sure that you can keep this person in sight at all times. If you cannot see this person, you need to stop and wait. All applicable laws and ordinances are to be observed and respected, as this is trail etiquette. Drivers will be assigned to a group, whereas the lead driver is in charge of all decisions, with the tail gunner being the assistant to the lead driver. Then a second in charge where decisions are to be made. Teams will travel in single file only and use only trails designed by the Northland 300. Riders should never pass the lead driver, and teams should not pass other teams unless decided upon. All drivers are to ride with the headlights on high beam, which is a state law, so that the driver ahead of him or her can spot you. There's no tailgating allowed on this ride. You need to leave plenty of space between each snowmobile. Alcohol abuse at any time during the ride can lead to your being asked to leave the ride as a behavior that is unfit to represent Special Olympics of Minnesota. Watch out for your support team. You must stop at each designated checkpoint to let your support team know that everything is okay. The support team will be on duty until 8 p.m. Thursday and 5 p.m. on Saturday. You are on your own on a free day. Your sled needs to be trailered on Saturday. You must have it loaded for the support team by 8 a.m. Decision on trailing sleds must be made by the team's lead driver and the support captain. A helmet must be worn at all times while riding your sled on the Northland 300. If you receive a ticket while on the Northland 300, you'll be asked to leave the ride immediately, and your accommodations will be canceled. We represent safe, responsible snowmobiling and Special Olympics of Minnesota. While on the ride, your behavior represents Special Olympics Minnesota. Anything that misrepresents Special Olympics Minnesota will not be tolerated, and you will be asked to leave the ride. Do not override your driving capabilities. Use common sense and respect while snowmobiling. It's the best, safest rule of all. And you will receive these 2 forms, and you have to sign and date them on each side in order to participate in this ride. Thursday night, we're having a special ride ceremony. Under the Stars it's called, because this is the 30th year of our snowmobile ride for Special Olympics of Minnesota. So all participants again, and support team and everybody that's there is welcome to be on this opening ceremony, which is going to be short. It's going to be neat. It's going to be under the lights. We're going to have sleds come across the lake with their lights on. We're actually going to line sleds up on the lake that spell out NL300, Northland 300. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
Thank you, Mike. In the absence of this year's support captains, Casey Heller and Helena Dolia, who are not able to be here today, I'll give you a brief description of the responsibilities of our support team. Under the supervision, there are a variety of jobs that need to be done, and you may be asked to do. The main responsibility is to have a presence at each of the day's checkpoints. There, the lead driver of each team will check in with the support team to let them know that all is well, or they may need some assistance. You may be asked to drive another vehicle, such as a truck and trailer that belongs to someone else. Please respect the vehicle and do not smoke in it. Also, at the end of the day, when you return the keys to the support captain, make sure that you replace the gas as how you found it. Normally, 2 people of the support team travel together in a vehicle. Remember on the Northland 300 that you must choose whether to be a snowmobiler or to be on the support team. The Northland 300 is proud of the fine job that the support team provides and plays an important role in the safety of its participants. Thank you for watching this video. Now all you need to do is join us January 24th to the 28th, 2018 at the Grand Ely Lodge. See you in Ely.